I'm heading to party chat. Okay. Need to copy link.
Oh shoot, I forgot the track map. John, why'd you let me forget to pull up a track map?
I don't know.
I can't believe you. I thought we were friends. Alright, here we go. Got me a track map.
Been a busy racing weekend.
Dude, I'm exhausted from yesterday. And after this, we're gonna be racing for 2 hours. Are you kidding me?
I can't do it. I have to do some
You're not
stuff.
doing it?
No, I wish I could.
Yeah, you quote unquote can't do it. You gotta go do some stuff. You're gonna go lay down.
I have family stuff that I have to do.
Make fun of me. Well, I'm doing it, and I'm in the Aston. Okay.
Okay.
So
I was gonna drive the Porsche, but
you Porsche?
I only drive the Porsche GT car.
Yeah, you definitely. There's something wrong. Like, you need to go see a doctor or something.
All right.
Okay. All right. Hopefully this season's Russian GP is better than last season's. Wait for it. Wait for it. Black screen? Okay. Hello everybody and welcome to the UDL F1 League round number 13 of season 2 here at the Sochi Autodrome in Sochi for the Russian GP. My name, of course, is Mr. Damage, and once again I'm joined by the world's greatest co-commentator. It's John.
Nice to be here, Damage. Looking forward to a pretty great race today. We had some struggles last season with this track, but I think with the talent improvement in the drivers this year, I think we're going to be in for some great racing.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I believe Sinister retired from the session, so I guess he's going to be starting from the back of the grid here today.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what went on there, but...
Not sure either, but we'll skim right over it. So here we are at Sochi, one of the newest additions to the Formula One calendar. First race here was in 2016, I believe, and that was the year that Nico Rosberg took home the trophy in his one and only appearance at the Sochi Autodrome. And it has been on the calendar ever since, has faced a little bit of criticism for its lack of variability in corner styles, but nevertheless it is on the calendar, and that long left-hand turn 3 is by far the highlight of the lap.
Yeah, that is definitely one corner I actually very much enjoy driving.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting track. It feels like a street circuit sometimes, and it feels like a permanent circuit other times. It kind of reminds me of Valencia, in a way.
I very much see where you get that.
It has the same feel to it. As now, we watch Breezy setting himself up to start his first flying lap of the session, coming down this long pit straight through turn 1, flat out right hand kink, and now up towards turn 2, the first braking zone of the lap, slam it down into third gear, go through the right hand flick, through the left, and now through that long aforementioned left-hander. You want to make sure you keep it nice and tight and let it swing out a little but before diving it through the right-hander. Don't want to go too wide in any of these upcoming corners. You will get your lap invalidated through the right-hander through third gear once again. Now coming up towards turn number 7, I believe. And then through the double left. And as we come now down towards the turn onto the back straight, very important to get a good exit out of this corner. And now go down the back straight that also is not very straight. But the second DRS zone nevertheless. Breezy getting a pretty decent toe off of the racing point that was in front of him before they pulled out of the way. Breezy with a purple middle sector, but then invalidates his lap on that apex of the turn at the end of the back straight. So Breezy unfortunately has invalidated himself. That means that lap will not count. So instead we'll go ahead and follow Dulsac through the final 2 corners. He is on the medium compound tires. Let's see what he does here. He goes a 33.7 and Snipper right behind him goes a 31.7 and puts it onto provisional pole.
I did not get to see very much testing for this course. I'm not exactly sure what times we're going to be seeing, but I could imagine low 31s, high 30s from the provisional pole time.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I was in the practice session, and the fastest driver in that session was Breezy for Alfa Romeo, as he is purple in the first sector on his second flying lap here. So watch out for the Alpha driver as he invalidates himself once again.
Dreamsy coming into the final 2 corners, he had a purple sector 2.
Let's see if Dreamsy can improve. He jumps up into P2 with a 32.206. Oh. Yes. Looks like Real Space Hero coming around. No, that would be Impulse coming into the pit lane. Next across the line will be Breezy. Nope, he's going into the pit lane.
We have a
Dulsac also pitting.
We have a compliment on Breezy's helmet.
Breezy's helmet. Okay. I gotta look at it. I haven't seen it.
Pink and chrome. Interesting color choice. It does look pretty good though.
Yeah, it's not bad, not bad. So, let's see. Got a gaggle of cars in the final 2 corners. I don't know if any of them are actually finishing a lap or not. It doesn't look like it. So we have everybody's dad in the chat. Hello, Jeff.
Welcome, Jeff. Real Space Hero is in tonight, so I expect to see some Space Hero fans in the chat soon.
Yeah, we got to get the Spirit of Mexico behind Real Space Hero, and where are the German fans at?
There's definitely Space Hero, as well as the Germans, seem to be very into this, which is good to see.
Yeah, it's nice to see drivers with a nice little fan base behind them. Bossman around 1.5 tenths up on his previous best lap. Let's see if he can improve. Get a good middle sector here. He's got Snipper right on his tail, and he invalidates his lap. So Bossman will most likely be coming into the pit lane, and he is. Snipper will come around to finish another flying lap, and will go 4 tenths faster, 31.352.
Impressive on the old tires.
So Snipper currently has gone 3 laps on those softs. Very interesting quality strategy from him.
Seems to be working, though.
Looks like he is about to run out of fuel, though. according to his fuel light. So
he will definitely be making a pit stop after this.
if he doesn't, he's going to have a very, very long trek to get back to pit lane the next lap.
There is pretty much everybody is either in the pit lane or on an out lap. Honos, the only one actually on a flying lap currently. Up as I say that,
only
Shawson.
because he just started one.
Yep.
I'm sorry if I go silent every once in a while. My allergies are killing me right now. So if I go silent, that means I'm either sneezing, coughing, or blowing my nose.
Completely understandable.
Throwing that one out there. Hono sets a purple first sector, and not McLaren.
McLaren's had some bad luck these past couple races. They're definitely going to look for a good result here.
Yeah, I mean, McLaren's just had some terrible luck as of late, so it'd really be nice to see them do well. Definitely something that we could all get behind.
Yes, I completely agree. Sorry for the...
Almost the entire grid is in front of the finish line as Honos jumps up into P5. And Shawson has a huge crash on the pit straight and is stuck 90 degrees on the track. And he does get it turned back around. And by the way, that's a pretty nice helmet there for Shawson.
Yeah, he is definitely lucky that he did not have somebody coming up immediately. That was kind of a precarious situation, being 90 degrees on the pit straight.
Yeah, absolutely. Dilsack jumps up into P2 for Toro Rosso with a 32.182 on his first run on the soft compound tires. Let's see, we got Birdman. He's coming around to start a lap. Let's see. Real Space Hero coming around to finish a lap. He does not improve. So currently we'll stay in P9. The lone Renault going into the pit lane. Looks like he lost his front wing on his out lap there. Dreamsy coming around the final corner soon. He's around 4/10 up, and he lost quite a lot of time in that final sector. Only a 32.090. He went from 4/10 up to only 1, so he's got quite a bunch left in the tank.
Sinister Owl must be pretty annoyed being retired for the entire session, not being able to set a lap.
Yeah, I agree that I'm sure it's pretty annoying as Breezy jumps up into P2, the second driver into the 131 bracket with a 131.767.
Drew Yu moves up into 13th.
As who just crossed the line? Big Rig jumps up into P5 and then immediately gets it taken away by newcomer Korab 04 in the Racing Point. He would jump up into P5 at a 32.252.
Great to see some new drivers filtering into the UDL. New talent is always great.
Absolutely. Bossman, on his return to form, once again puts in a pretty good lap time there. Jumps up into P4 with a 32.170. Has finished in the top 3 on track 2 races in a row. sure he's going to hope to make it a third. Pecan just crossed the line.
Problem. My camera would not allow me to go past Kill the Birdman for a minute.
Yeah, mine was doing that last week. It was very annoying. But yeah, it's doing it again. I don't understand. This is weird. Anyways, let's see. Looks like Big Rig is on an in-lap most likely. Yes, he is. Korab, I would say, is on an in-lap. So who could be on a flyer here? Definitely not Drew Yu. He is slow on the right hand or the left hand side of the track. Sorry. Bossman on a cooldown lap or a in-lap now.
Looks like Lucas will be definitely on a flyer, but not sure if anybody else in front of him will be.
Lucas is...
Oh, Pecan.
The track map is red. Pecan, one of the only two drivers still in the session to have not set a lap so far, coming through the final sector now, coming up towards the penultimate corner. Let's see if he can put a good lap on the board here. Comes through the final corner, and it will be a 32.568 up into P8. Really close split here between P3 all the way back to P10.
Yeah, that's great to see.
As we have a Renault coming around the final corner. That's Imperial starting a lap. Shawsome on an outlap as well. Dillsack on an outlap. Kill the Birdman also on an outlap.
Interesting.
Seems like everybody's either
here.
on an outlap or an in-lap. It's at least coming towards the final sector, but Honos 3.5 tenths up in the first sector alone. He seems to have found a little bit more pace here. So let's see if he can improve. Going to ride along with him for most of this lap, if not the rest of it, coming now towards the back straight. See if he can get a purple middle sector as well. If so, then we'll really be looking for him in the final sector to see if he can put it onto the top spot. He is 6.5 tenths up, but was not purple in the middle sector. If he stays 6.5 tenths up, that'll only be good enough for around P7. So he's going to really be looking to try to improve by more. Oh, he loses the back end and hits the wall on the right-hand side, and that will be his run over. And looks like his qualifying session over as well, as there's only 2 minutes left in the session.
He might just be able to get out, but it was definitely good to get that crash done right up before the last corner so he could get into the pit lane quick. Absolutely.
Shawsome coming around to the final corner. He's a couple of tenths up, jumps up into P5, a 32.177. So only 7 thousandths behind Bossman in P4. Jump back here to Dillsack. He is also 2 tenths up, coming around now. Jumps up into P3 with a 32.012 as more drivers are coming around to start or finish laps. Let's see, the Haas of Big Rig has just started a flying lap here. Kill the Birdman also starting a lap. Impulse just started a lap. Real Space Hero on his final out lap. Let's see, we've got Drew Yu now coming up towards the penultimate corner. He is on an out lap. Everybody's on an out lap. Come on. I need some flyers here.
Kind of a struggle finding drivers in this qualifying session.
Been scrolling through like crazy. And see, Lucas once again out lap. See, Shawsome. Oh, Shawsome loses the back end as soon as I go on board with him. and he was very marginally behind his previous lap, so he will most likely be done in this qualifying session. Yes, he is. He pulls off into the pit entry. Next driver to be finishing a lap will be Breezy, and Breezy just full cuts that right-hander there and gets his time invalidated. Not quite sure if he is cutting every corner trying to get around to, I assume, start his lap in time. Very interesting there from Breezy, but he does get across the line in time. Looks like Korab just finished his lap, did not improve. The Haas of Big Rig does not improve. The next driver to cross the line will be Birdman. He does not improve. Impulse crosses the line, doesn't improve. Let's see, who was that? That was Korab. That just crossed the... No, that was I'm so
Boss
lost.
Man.
Well, Bossman's coming up to the final sector, so it wasn't him. But Bossman turns in too early and goes into the pit lane. Birdman finishes his final flying lap. See where everybody else is on track. We got Real Space Hero coming up to the line, and he is in the pit lane. So jump back up to the provisional pole sitter, Snipper Pig. See if he can improve any more on his lap. He does, a 31.176. Really making it hard for Breezy to put down a lap to get onto pole position. Imperial jumps into the pit lane. Breezy has retired from the session.
I just watched him go headfirst into a wall, so I think that was intentional. I did just receive word that Korab is actually Schweitzer's replacement due to a broken thumb.
Interesting.
That was from Schweitzer himself, so it is a good source.
So Schweitzer, I hope all is well. Hopefully your thumb heals back correctly. Hopefully it's not crooked. That'd be a little weird. And yeah. Anyways, wish you a fast recovery. And Snipper Pig once again is on pole position here in Russia. Breezy will be in P2 on the grid on that front row, almost 0.6 back from Snipper's qualifying time. A great lap there from the Ferrari driver. Dilsack, strong performance from him, up in P3. Dreamsy in P4. Bossman in P. He jumps up into P7. Good performance from him. Big Rank and Pecan in the Haas's 8th and 9th. Honos in 10th. Lucas in 11th. Real Space Hero 12th. Birdman in 13th. Impulse 14th. Drew you in 15th. Imperial in 16th. And Sinister Owl did not set a time in 17th.
All right. So we are going to be leaving to remake this session. We have a guest analyst, I guess. A former UDL F1 driver of Cone Dodger.
Yes, thank you guys. Pleasure to be here. I'm happy you guys asked me to join. Just here to kind of, give some racing insight, things like that, should the need arise.
Right. Well, we appreciate you being here.
Absolutely. And, I mean, you were a professional driver for a single event, but nevertheless, you were a professional driver, so you know exactly what you're talking about here whenever it comes to motorsports-related things. So,
yeah, in the grand scheme of things, yeah. I was in a 2012 Mustang Boss 302R, nearly identical to these F1 cars today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that Boss 302R, the R, even though it's not this, I mean, even though downforce doesn't start with R, there's an R in downforce, and those Boss 302Rs had way more downforce than these F1 cars could ever dream of.
I don't know about way more. Probably, kind of, you can kind of think, Formula Renault to F1 type, downforce. The power, however, nothing can replace, just a good old, American V8.
Yeah, as they always say, there's no replacement for displacement.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've got.
Yeah.
It's an uphill climb for anybody.
All right, so Cone, you've seen him before. He was in that Ferrari car a few times, and something happened at Bahrain, but we won't talk about it too much.
Nothing in a Ferrari happened at Bahrain.
That is true. You were not in a Ferrari.
I had to get my feet wet in the Haas first before I could graduate to the big team.
That being said, what did you think about today's qualifying?
Very impressive showing from Snipper Pig. I mean, I know he was my teammate for a few races, so very familiar with his pace. However, cannot say I was expecting him to be that far ahead of the rest of the field. Truly just quite an impressive performance.
To really put it out there, he hasn't had the strongest of races or the best of luck in the last few weeks. So maybe he can string something together here. Just trying to make a statement. Say, hey, I won this last year.
I'm
trying
actually
to defend my championship.
Hold up. 1 second. Cone, would you like to maybe sit in the commentary booth? Like watching the race. I can send a message over.
If you guys would like my my input for this race, I'm more than happy to give it.
Man, it absolutely warms my heart that a professional racing driver at the level of your experience in that 1 hour and 15 minutes would be joining us for this broadcast.
More than happy.
I just sent over the message. So I'm going to send over a message real quick about interviews. Okay, yes, you could join the broadcast. So just get in here quick.
Yeah, make sure you bring a chair. We only have 2 chairs, unless you want to stand the whole time. I mean, you can sit on my lap if you'd like. I don't really care.
Ooh, now that's a tempting offer.
All right.
Trying to get in here.
So this weekend we had a bunch of Indy 500 festivities, and it started off with the first few qualifying sessions of for the Indianapolis 500. Dale the Whale ended up on pole position, and he was the fastest driver going into the Fast 9. It was a full Ganassi front row going into the Fast 9. And the entirety of Ganassi and Penske made the Fast 9, and then there was one lonely boy in the other Chevrolet number 4 car, also in the Fast 9. Then after all of the qualifying, there was bump day. No drivers, I believe, bumped their way into the field. So the field stood at the 16 drivers that it already had. And then we had the Freedom 100 with the Formula C cars around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. 40 laps of hard pack racing. Snipper Pig came home with the win in that race with SSJ GZ Warrior, I believe is his full gamer tag. He came home in P2, only 2 tenths back from Snipper Pig. Mr. Damage came home in P3, a couple of seconds back. There were a few big incidents at the end of that race, and I would very strongly recommend you guys go back and watch the replay of that race. Next week, we will be having the Indianapolis 500 on Sunday. No other races out of the UDL next weekend, just the Indianapolis 500. I recommend everybody to tune in. It should be a real thriller.
Yes, and that race will be commentated by yours truly and our other co-commentator, Ix. So it should be a great race to watch, and I'm very excited.
And if you've never listened to Ix commentate before, go watch that Freedom 100 race. He did an exceptional job commentating over that race. What an exciting race to watch.
Yes, and then after the Indianapolis 500, the next week after that, our WEC League will be going to the Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit for a 2-hour and 30-minute endurance race. So that should be a great race to watch, and I also advise everybody to tune into that race.
Yeah, that should be an absolute thriller as well. There's been some very close racing between the LMP1 grid and the GTE grid in the last few races, and the LMP2 grid hopefully will be getting spiced up here soon.
Yes, and once that is over with, the week after, we will be going back to the UDL F1 League with a day race at Bahrain.
We haven't had a day race at Bahrain since 2013. So, ever since 2014, it has been a night race, and who can forget that 2014 Bahrain GP? Absolute thriller between Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton. Hopefully we can put on a great show in the daytime. So, looks like we're going to be starting here soon. Colm, you've never answered this question before. So, who is your podium here for this Russian GP?
That's going to be a tough one. I'm going to have to... I have a hard time seeing Snipper coming away with anything less than a win here, if I'm being honest. Just that kind of pace that he has shown in qualifying, going to be tough to beat. Then I would have to say I'm thinking Honos and Dreamsy are going to round out the podium.
So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you the special requests that the McLaren drivers gave us. They asked us to not put them onto our podium predictions. So, but thankfully you said it. Hopefully you don't have the curse like we do.
I sure hope not.
So John, it's your turn.
Okay, so I'm going to say Breezy moves up and keeps his momentum from his second win at Monza last week. Gets the win here. I think Bossman is going to continue his podium streak in finishes and keep a second place. And then third place, I'm going to say Snipper. And I think Dreamsy may have the fastest lap.
Well, I mean, at this point, everyone knows I'm a big fan of underdogs. And there is no underdog that isn't loved more than the man, the myth, the legend in that Williams seat, Drew U24. I think he will drive all the way through from P15 to be on the top step of the podium and bring Williams their first win in quite a while. And I say Bossman continues his podium streak, comes on in P2, and we get a good first going from Korab. In that racing point, he will come home in P3.
I definitely respect that prediction because Korab set a very respectable time for a first-time driver in the UDL. I could see him getting a really good result here for his opening race.
Yeah, and I mean, with how well the other Racing Point car of Bossman has been doing the last few weeks, it'll be really nice to see both Racing Points on the podium. That would really be just excellent.
I would love to see that.
As it looks like Snipper and Breezy are in a bit of a hurry to get to the grid here. Snipper, Breezy, and Dulsac have left Dreamsy way back, and there's a 4-car little pack here of Dreamsy, Bossman, Shawsome, and Korab. Then a decent-sized gap to Big Rig, who looks like he is trying to catch back up to them, and then a huge gap back to Pecan, who is heading the third train of everybody else.
All right, coming around the final 2 corners on their warm-up lap.
I'm ready.
I am as well. What about you, Cone Dodger?
Absolutely ready.
As the drivers take their grid slots once again, this is the United Drivers League F1 Championship, round number 13 of Season 2 at Sochi Autodrome. My name is Mr. Damage, joined by Jonathan M. Ledoux and special guest Cone Dodger, here for this 27-lap race at the Sochi Autodrome Speedway. Sinister Owl now coming up to the penultimate corner. Looks like he had some sort of an issue on that formation lap.
It does not look like Sinister Owl's day.
If I'm correct, it looks like he's missing the front left end plate on his wing.
I did not see that.
Might have had an issue on the formation lap.
As now the lights are coming on. 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5. And the lights are out. And away we go for the Russian GP. Snipper off to a pretty good start. It looked like Breezy got a pretty good start as well. Dreamsy jumps Dulsac, who got a horrific start here, is already down into P5 as they come barreling down towards turn 2. Dreamsy looking to the inside of Breezy, going into turn 2. There is contact between multiple cars here. They're 3 wide as they fan out into the runoff area, and Korab is around in turn 2 as they come flying around through turn 3 and into turn 4.
Nearly 3 wide there through turn 3.
As they all fan out coming through turn 4, now coming up towards turn 5. Dulsac lost a few positions. Now he's spun. There's 2 spinners here, Bossman and Dulsac simultaneously, and they will both fall down the order. So that will leave Snipper and Breezy with a decent gap to Dreamsy behind. The biggest winner here, look at Drew Yu in this virtual safety car, already up into P6.
I think the real lesson we learned from this first lap is Damage should not predict any team both coming on a podium. The Racing Points did not come out of that the greatest in lap 1.
Yeah, that's for sure. I am very sad about that one. Pecan gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC as it gets back going. So he started going too early. He misjudged the start, and he will be losing a ton of time here. Honos into the pit lane because his front wing is broken, as well as Big Rig. And it looks like, let's see, Space Hero, Bossman, and the other drivers that were involved in the incidents will be into the pit lane as well. Sinister looking to get P8 here. Started P17 on the grid, already up, fighting for P8, trying to take it away from Impulse here on the inside of turn 2. The Impulse holds on to it around the outside there. Looks like he might hold on to the position here coming through this next left-hander.
Very, very close racing from a few drivers here. Breezy not giving Snipper Pig any breathing room.
Yeah, Breezy right on the back of the Mother Umbrella team, I would say. The Ferrari leading the race so far. Breezy going a little bit wide there in that last right-hander. Snipper. Looks like he actually has some pretty decent straight line speed here. Usually he doesn't have very much straight line speed and has more downforce, but it looks like this time around he has gone for straight line speed.
One thing that should be
a little more.
Should be pointed out, Sinister Owl already up into 9th place.
Yeah, he's working on taking 8th away from Impulse at that. I had the pleasure of watching him on the first lap, and as you guys had said, there were multiple incidents, and he drove through all of them with a lot of composure and was able to both pass the cars who were collected in those incidents and make his way around some of the slower cars on track for position.
He is
trying to not get caught up.
He has definitely shown throughout his UDL career that you cannot count him out when he starts in a bad position in qualifying. He can move all the way back through the field and make his way to the front.
Pecan and Shaw some swapped positions there on the pit straight. Another person to look out for as Lucas and Impulse are side by side as I'm about to talk about Lucas. Lucas in P7 on medium compound tires, so he started P11 on the grid in P7 and in a really good position on that alternate strategy. If he can just hold off these drivers behind him, right on his rear inside there, but that's is going to jump back up to the battle for the lead. Breezy right on the back of Snipper, but not close enough to make a move, so I'm going to jump back here to this 3-car gaggle. And Lucas trying to hold on to P7. Impulse going down his inside into this right-hander, but Lucas, great defensive driving there, really drives it off into the corner and makes it stick. Now Sinister trying to look at making a move onto Impulse. Impulse goes wide here, so Sinister will take P8 away from the Red Bull driver. Pecan into the pit lane already to serve his drive-through penalty.
Yeah, not the start of the race Pecan wanted.
As that gives Drew you P5. So I mean,
this is kind of the most amazing result I've ever seen. Drew you up into P5.
I mean, if there's an
track
implosion
position.
from the top, I mean, if there's an implosion in the top 4 here, my prediction's coming true, at least for the top step.
Oh, Lucas just hit the wall trying to defend from Sinister, and Sinister's now up to P6 after starting last on the grid. Quite a drive in the first 2 laps from the Ferrari driver.
Incredible from the Ferrari. Lucas drops and loses both of those positions that he was doing a great job of defending from, but it doesn't look like he sustained any damage from hitting the wall, so that is at least a plus here. See if Breeze jump up here to the battle for the lead. It looks like Breezy's just chilling behind Snipper for now, so let's see here. Everybody's kind of spread out now.
I think Breezy is a bit complacent right now, just to stay behind and not make any...
If he gets a little too complacent, though, Dreamsy has caught right up to the back of Breezy, so he's going to have to start watching his rearview mirror as well now.
Yeah,
Dreamsy... Go ahead.
Dreamsy is very good at making quick maneuvers, so he can get the job done if he sees the opening.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen that McLaren do wonderful things. I mean, jump back to Monza at Parabolica last week. I mean, a 3-wide overtake around the outside of Parabolica. You don't see that very often. He got it done without a drip of sweat.
I would just like to point out there is a cheerleader for Drew Yu in the chat.
Yeah, we've got the Drew Yu chants rolling. Drew Yu currently in P5, but the field is catching him slowly but surely. Sinister almost into his DRS zone now, so Sinister very easily could be in P5 by the end of this lap.
Sinister Owl making the moves to try and get into a great position here.
So interesting looking at the top 3 here. So Snipper using putting his ERS mode onto 2 deployment. Breezy on 1, but Dreamsy was on 4 going down that back straight for a short period of time.
He is now on 0.
As Sinister gets the move done, it looks like, going into the 3rd sector. So Sinister up at a P5 for Ferrari. A great drive so far from the Alabama native driver.
Cora back to 9th place after a...
Looks like Breezy's going for the lead here, down into turn 1.
Breezy makes it sticks. So Breezy takes over the point here from Snipper. Snipper right on his tail in that Ferrari, and in that same shot, all 3 of these drivers within 0.6 of a second. This is very close. So Corb and Birdman look to be battling. Corb looks like he will retain P9. As Snipper will... I'm not sure if his better option is to try to overtake Breezy or to just sit in the slipstream and save ERS. Breezy is really using it quite a lot. Dreamsy is saving it on 0. And Snipper throwing a little bit of a dummy to the inside, but not really going to do anything with it. Shawsome currently in P4 in absolute no man's land. He is 11.5 seconds ahead of Sinister and 3 seconds behind the top 3. So if anything happens with that top 3, he's in prime position to take over the top spot on the podium.
These 3 drivers, they've shown that they can race very clean, but one wrong move and it can take out all 3 of them with how close they are.
Exactly, and also we see Pecan coming back through the field. He just made his way into P10 after his drive-through penalty, so he's going to be looking to beat himself after that stake earlier on in that virtual safety car. As Snipper is right on that rear wing of Breezy here, coming through the middle sector. As they now come on to the back straight, the 3 of them, and Shawsome is spun! Shawsome will be losing a bunch of time. He looks like he will retain P4 for now, and he doesn't seem to have any damage, but he lost it there. Going to jump back up here to the battle for the lead. Snipper will stay behind Breezy for now. Looked like they were side by side for just a moment there.
Now these 3 have a lot of breathing room to anybody behind.
And this will stir to a lot of order here.
Breezy got a little sideways coming off that corner. Snipper's going to have a bit of a run, but I don't think he's going to do anything with it. And really, the person in the best place right now would appear to be Dreamsy. He's barely using any DRS on these laps, or excuse me, ERS on these laps. Happy just to sit within DRS range and let the Snipper, the Ferrari of Snipper Pig and the Alpha of Breezy duke it out.
As I thought we were going 3 wide there for a moment. Snipper going down the inside, but Breezy going straight through the runoff area. But he
can't hold it.
He will let Snipper through there, it looks like. So Snipper will jump up into P1. Breezy trying to avoid any sort of a penalty for
that was smart on his end.
Gaining an advantage. So smart from Breezy there to pick his battle here. And remember that this is a 27-lap race, not an 8-lap race.
Looking for a move on Lucas.
Drew Yu and Impulse side by side here coming through the first sector. And Drew Yu will retain P6 for now. Impulse looking to his inside, though, coming up towards this next right-hander, but not really close enough to get anything done. Drew Yu and that Williams doing a great job of making that car 3 times wider than it really is.
Nice little group of drivers here.
Yeah, this little Gaggle here is going to get very interesting very quickly. Pecan he put his ERS onto overtake mode. He's going to the right-hand side of Lucas. He's going to have to go a long way around into the braking zone now to the inside. And they make contact, and Pecan spins around, pendulums off of the contact. So now he will have to wait for everybody to come through, and he will drop back down into P12 as Dreamsy and Shawson have both pit. Dreamsy going for the undercut, going onto the medium compound tires. I assume this is going to be a race, and this will be a very huge undercut if Snipper and Breezy decide to battle on their end laps here.
Sinister Owl got very sideways coming out of that final corner.
See, there's an absolute gaggle of cars here, and Dreamsy, luckily for him, came out in front of Kill the Birdman, but he's around 2.5 seconds back from the fighting pack in front of him. So he's got a little bit of breathing room here. Oh my God, Impulse has crashed here. The Red Bull in the wall. Not quite sure what happened. That was right up next to the camera I was on. Whew. That kind of scared me a little bit.
We have a Imperial fan.
Dreamsy even more as he came around that sustained left-hander. He had a Red Bull just sitting right in the middle of his braking zone.
Yeah, absolutely. Dreamsy right on the back of Korb now. He has DRS on the racing point, and for the sake of his race, he better hope that he can get past quickly. Breezy dives into the pit lane. Snipper will be going yet another lap. We've seen him do this before where he goes for the extreme overcut.
He's made it work before, but it is risky.
This track's not exactly a tire wear track. Dreamsy stuck in traffic, and he's going to be hoping that Breezy comes out into the same traffic that Dreamsy is in, and if they both come out in traffic, that means that Snipper will be able to just put down consistent laps and clean air, keep the lead. Breezy coming out of the pit exit now. Let's see if he beats these drivers out. It's going to be close coming up towards turn 2. They're 3 wide going into turn 2, and he will not, so he will come out right behind Lucas and Drew Yu, but crucially ahead of Dreamsy. Wow.
This will be interesting how quickly he can get by. And
they both spin! So Breezy and Drew Yu have both spun here.
A horrible upset for Breezy.
Wow. So Drew Yu, it looks like there was a bit of contact there between Lucas and Drew Yu, which sent Drew around, and Breezy had nowhere to go, and in turn him also spun. Very unfortunate for both of those drivers. Drew Yu was looking to have the best result so far of his F1 career. He did not sustain damage, but Breezy most certainly did. Both end plates gone.
Very disappointing for Breezy.
Dreamsy and Lucas side by side through this final sector, but Lucas holding up Dreamsy just a little bit longer. The two Germans not doing each other any favors here as Snipper is coming out of his pit box now. So Snipper might have Lucas to thank here if he comes out ahead, because Lucas still has Dreamsy behind him, and let's see how close this is. Snipper, oh no, it's gotta be close. Dreamsy going down the right-hand side. Snipper just came out of the pit lane. Snipper will retain the lead, and Dreamsy will easily get past Lucas with the help of DRS.
Now, Snipper Pig is in a prime position with 2-lap fresher tires and in the lead on track position.
And you want to know something else? Sinister Owl currently is, after all the pit cycles are over, he is in P3, a net P3 right now for Ferrari. Incredible drive for him.
And he's not, in the grand scheme of things, it looks like he's about 12, 13 seconds back from the leaders. and I believe at one point that gap was around 30 seconds, so he has really benefited quite a lot from everything that's happened on track ahead of him.
Absolutely. So, Sinister in a good position here. If Snipper and Dreamsy have any sort of issues here and have any sort of an off, Maldonado and Hamilton-esque at Valencia, we could very much see Sinister from last to first here in Russia.
And it should be stated, Sinister has had an interesting track record. His only win was Monaco this year, and every time he's gotten very close, it's always been bad luck. But right now, it seems, knock on wood, it seems like his luck is really going in favor of him this week.
Dreamsy makes a move stick down the inside of Snipper into turn 2. Snipper trying to make a little bit of a look here going into turn 4, but nothing coming of it. Snipper's tires 2 laps fresher than Dreamsy's, so at the end of the race, that's really going to make a huge difference.
Yeah, I don't see either of these two pitting again.
We have a battle on track for P13 between Pecan and Breezy. Not where I expect these two to be battling, but nevertheless, they're side by side going into turn 2, and Breezy blows past Pecan on the straight with the help of DRS. Pecan, though, will be looking to take it back through turn 3 here.
Dreamsy took
a little
the
bit
lead.
Of front wing damage. Yeah, he did that at turn 2.
I did not see that. I thought.
I believe. Yeah.
I thought Snipper
so.
had gotten by again.
My brain's fried. But yeah. So Pecan and Breezy, very, very odd for them to be battling where they are. And actually, there's a 3-car battle now between Drew, Pecan, and Breezy for P12. 3 drivers right on top of each other. They might be 3 wide going into this braking zone. Hold on, I'm watching this. Drew Yu, very smart of him to get out of that situation. They're side by side going into this right-hander. Very close between the two. As Korab and Big Rig both go into the pit lane. And Breezy seems to have gotten the move done onto Pecan.
Very close racing between Pecan and Breezy. Just not the position they wanted to be in while doing it.
Impulse very wide in the final corner. Looks like he bounced it off of the outside wall there. Interesting on what just happened there. As I'm going to jump back up to the battle for the lead here. Dreamsy in P1 currently, but Snipper will have the help of DRS down this back straight. Dreamsy using a bit of ERS. Snipper basically not even going to really attempt to go down the inside. Kind of fakes that he's going to go for it, but does not make anything happen. So currently the 2 closest battles on track are the battles for P11 between Breezy, Pecan, and Space, and the battle for the lead. And let's see, Big Rig and Birdman as well in close proximity of each other, battling for the final 2 points paying positions.
So, Cone, you have some insight into this. Oh my god, Big Rig completely missing the corner.
Interesting. So, Big Rig seems to have had a lapse of concentration there.
So, as I was saying before, Cone, you having experience in both real life for that hour and a half and in the F1 League before, if you are in Snipper Pig and Sinister Owl's position as a team, what would your, as Pecan gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, what would your strategy as a team be, being second and third, and one driver very close to making the charge for first?
Well, I mean, it's a little difficult for them at this point, just because it looks like Sinister's dropped back to about 15 seconds behind the pair leaders here. If he was, say, 5 seconds back, it would be, the call would be to have Snipper really kind of take it to Dreamsy, force him to drive defensively, which would then allow Snipper to pull on both of them. And then if you can get the two cars working together, you can get a lot accomplished, especially in the draft and with DRS in these F1 cars. But given that Sinister's just a little bit too far back for that to work, really the best thing that could happen is if Sinister can kind of just keep anyone behind him, it could potentially run up and challenge either of these two leaders at the moment. However, that doesn't appear like there's any other drivers who are really in that position.
Good insight.
Let's see. Pecan makes a move stick onto Kill the Birdman. So he is now up into P9 himself, and Breezy charging back through the field here. Boston and Korb, after their incidents in lap 1, came back to P6 and P7, so respectable points so far for the Racing Point team. Of course, Bossman on 13 lap old tires because he pit at the end of the first lap. Not quite sure if he's going to be able to make it to the finish or not on that same set of hard compound tires.
There was a bit of a race for 13th there, but Big Rig seemed to have come out on top in there.
As we've got a yellow flag. It looks like it was just Imperial letting the leaders through. It's Imperial, the first car to be a lap down here quite early on in this race. Dulsac makes a move, gets up into P11. Looks like he's going to be going to the end on a fresh set of mediums. Snipper right on the back of Dreamsy here, coming into this next right-hander. What a race so far.
Yeah, it's been very interesting to watch. Oh, and Dreamsy runs a little wide.
He's going to have a very compromised exit here from having a bad line into that corner. Will allow Snipper to get a better exit than him, and with the help of DRS, might just blow right on past, but he has to go around the outside of the left-hander into the right-hander, but he will get it done. So Dreamsy trying to make the cutback work there, but not quite able to carry the momentum around that corner. So Snipper will jump back up into P1 for the Scuderia.
Very clean racing between these two, especially with how close they've been.
Any clue what the Delta cone, if you paid attention to what that is? Because Lucas is coming into now out of P3. He might come out behind Shawson, maybe right in front of Bossman or Korib, or in that battle. Dreamsy blows past Snipper with the help of DRS here, but Lucas might be in a really good spot for there in the midfield.
Yeah, it looks like Lucas is going to pit for some softs, and he should come out, I believe, just behind Bossman. So he should have the opportunity here to potentially fight his way up into the top 5.
It looks like Breezy might get past here. Nope, so he comes out in front of Breezy in P7 and behind the 2 Racing Points. Big Rig puts in the fastest lap of the race on his 4-lap old medium compound tires at 135.5. But Lucas could be on for a very strong finish here in P5 after starting P11 on the grid. Now it looks like the order for the most part is correct, except for maybe Bossman. Not sure if he's going to have to pit or not. But as it stands, Dreamsy and Snipper have a huge advantage to Sinister MP3. Shawsome slowly catching that Ferrari for the battle for the final podium position, but they have a huge gap to the 2 racing points behind. And then Lucas, like we said, in P7, right behind him, and P9, the last person in a points-paying position. Dreamsy doing the Pagano there down the pit straight, trying to keep Snipper out of his slipstream.
It's been amazing to watch how fast these McLarens have been. Basically, throughout the entire season, they have had an incredible straight line speed.
Yeah, these McLarens have really figured out how to get a straight line speed advantage while also being good enough through the corners to not lose too much time, but really gain a lot of time on the straight line for defending. That is something those Papaya Orange cars have done brilliantly so far this season.
Yeah, that was just proven when Dreamsy had a purple first sector.
There you go. I mean, that sector has 3 turns and straight, and he went purple in it, so that doesn't tell you that he's got the fastest car in a straight line. I don't know what does. Without the help of DRS, mind you.
Yeah, very impressive.
Snipper still right on the back of him, breathing down his neck as they come up to 8 laps, or 9 laps to go here. 8, 9, one of those 2 numbers. I can't count.
The amazing part is, if you look at both of these drivers, they both have almost the entire ERS bar full, ready to deploy at any time.
Yeah, they are both using the exact same strategy of just saving until the end. Snipper holding back until the end of the race. Dreamsy trying to save as much ERS as he can so he can defend at the end of the race. It's going to be a very interesting battle between these two. Shawsome now into the DRS of the Ferrari of Sinister Owl. So Shawsome might be able to take his P3 back after his spin in the final sector. And Lucas now catching up to the back of the 2 racing points, only a half second back. Dulsac looking to make a move for the final point here on to kill the Birdman, and he gets it done. Big Rig slots in between the both of them, and he's going to try to fancy his shot at getting this final point here. Looking down the inside of Dulsac into this right-hander. And Birdman into the wall. Looks like he just corrected his steering a little bit there, and it sent him straight into the right side barrier. So very unfortunate for the Williams driver there.
Yeah, that's not the result he wanted for this race.
Lucas and Korab side by side here. Lucas gets it done in the braking zone, so now Lucas up into P6 for Mercedes here. Great showing from him. Really showing off his race pace here.
Yeah, very impressive, especially for his first time in this league. Shawsome really close to Sinister Owl now.
Yeah, Sinister's going to have to start pulling out the defensive tactics here if he wants to hold on to that podium and get that double podium for Ferrari, which I believe we brought this up last week. But we still haven't had the same constructor have both cars on the podium at the same time.
Yeah,
I'm just saying it hasn't happened. Not suggesting anything, but I'm just stating that it has never happened. Don't at me, McLaren. As looks like Sipper just chilling out behind Dreamsy for now. Shawsome in the DRS of Sinister and will be closing decently quick using no ERS deployment whatsoever down that back straight, while Sinister is using quite a bit of his here, even in the final sector, now turns it down.
Can it just be said, Shawsome's helmet is really cool. A galaxy design with some pink and orange accents.
Yeah, I mean, these guys have really put together some nice helmet designs here. Dreamsy with a really nice gold and black helmet, Snipper with a nice red helmet to match the nice red, white, and black helmet to match that Ferrari. Shawson was an incredible livery on his helmet. Quite cool, to be honest.
Might have given him a few extra kph down the front straight, as he was easily able to make it by Sinister with DRS.
Sinister, the dream run for him going from P17 to P3 is not going to be done uncontested. Shawsome really wants this podium for Alfa Romeo. Breezy has gotten past Core, the P8, and Breezy up into P7. Bossman still circulating on those old hards. He might lose quite a few positions here soon, though. Ooh, boy. Snipper once again right on the back of Dreamsy here.
It's going to be interesting to see the strategy call towards the end of this race between these two top drivers.
We'll see exactly what happens here. Snipper still has a very huge advantage in terms of tire wear on Dreamsy with 2-lap fresher tires. I wonder how that's going to come into play in the closing stages of this race. Dylan, there was a 4-car pack at the front, and then there was a couple of incidents just randomly sprinkled here and there, and these two were the ones that kept their noses clean through all of that.
Yeah, they were very lucky to avoid the incidents and just kept good pace throughout the entire race.
And actually, seeing that penalty pop up in race control, I'm going to take a look at race director here. See if anybody has any time penalties. So Big Rig has a 5-second. Bossman has a 5-second for speeding in the pit lane. That's pretty crucial. He could lose quite a few spots with that penalty. We've got a 5-second time penalty for Big Rig, so that's 10 total. Pecan with 3 seconds. And then Big Rig with another 3 seconds. So Big Rig has 13 seconds worth of time penalties here.
Not good for him. That's definitely out of points paying position.
And with Bossman having a 5-second time penalty, that would drop him all the way down into P8. So, very unfortunate for him, speeding into the pit lane as he did.
And he's likely to fall even further on those old hards. He has Lucas jumping at the bit to get by him, and Breezy and Korab are not going to be too far behind.
I will say, though, the only saving grace is that Pecan and Big Rig both have penalties. So the next driver without a penalty behind is Dilsack in P11, who is collectively around 10 or so seconds back.
Lucas easily getting the move done.
Not quite. They're side by side here, third turn 2. Great defense there from Bossman to hold on to it on those old hards.
He broke at the absolute last possible second. Those tires were not happy, but they complied eventually, and he just got to stop before the corner and managed to hold on to P5.
Very impressive defensive driving.
You can just see how bad those tires are with how much he's understeering here. Lucas was so much more speed through these corners. Just look at how much faster he is out of that corner. But Lucas really just has to bide his time here. Backs out of it a little too much, I believe, though. And this will allow Breezy up into the mix. But Lucas right on the back of Bossman. Let's see if Bossman can defend this well. Bossman has his ERS deployment in overtake mode. And he might hold on to it here. He does. Lucas will stay behind. And all this time, Breezy has now caught up to the pair. The two Haas drivers have also swapped position on track. Big Rig taking P9 from Pecan in P10. That top two, they're so close together. But in the last few stages of this race, I wonder if Snipper's going to start getting more and more aggressive here. Shawsome and Sinister as well, battling for that third and final podium position. And then this battle for P5 is absolutely intense. Bossman trying to hold on to it on the inside this time. Lucas goes around the outside but has to use the runoff there. Goes a bit wide.
That's a bit of a questionable overtake from Lucas. If I were Bossman, I would be quite irate, and I'm sure my race engineer would not be happy.
I kind of agree with that.
That was not a clean overtake by any sense of the word.
It's now Breezy hounding the back of that racing point to try to get up into P6. Pecan in the pit lane. So now he is dropped all the way into P15. He's going on sauce for a final glory run. Now Bossman, can he hold on to at least P6 on track here? It's going to be close. Breezy trying to dive down his inside here in the braking zone. Bossman leaving him just enough room on the inside, and incredibly, Bossman will be able to hold on to it for now, but Breezy with the switchback going down the inside, and Breezy, great save there, keeping it out of the barriers.
Sideways.
Speaking of barriers, there was a Renault against the barrier there trying to either let them through or crashed, one of the two. Very scary moment for the other racing point of Korab there coming around that corner.
Breezy almost turning his car into a drift car.
That was incredible save there from Breezy. Breezy now down the inside. Oh my lord! Okay, that was lag. Okay. Oh, all right, that was
very scary.
It's a good thing that the halos were implemented, because Bossman would have a severe injury after that one, and he gets another penalty. That one will be huge. So that one, he was coming up on 5 minutes ahead of his teammate, or 5 seconds, ahead of his teammate here. But because of that penalty, he will have to pull another 3 seconds in these final 2 laps.
That was a very scary incident if it was not lag.
So now coming on to the penultimate lap of the race, Dreamsy still in the lead. Snipper on his rear wing here coming down the pit straight, and Dreamsy pulled just enough of a gap, I believe, to be clear of him going into turn 2. So Snipper will have to bide his time for now in that Ferrari. Dreamsy with a great exit there out of turn 2, will pull just a little bit on him through turn 3.
And Dreamsy actually looks like he's managing his ERS just that little bit more efficiently than Snipper is at the moment, so it could be very difficult for Snipper to actually make a move and have it stick, given that straight line speed of the McLaren.
3 second time penalty by Breezy.
Very important penalty in the grand scheme of things. So Breezy now trying to go around the outside of Lucas into turn 2, and Breezy will go straight through the runoff, but it looks like he will let Lucas back through here. So once again, a heads up move there from Breezy, and this will keep Bossman close in this battle. But Lucas looks like his softs are dying, so Breezy's going to be all over the back of him. No change of position on the back straight for the lead between Dreamsy and Snipper. I'm going to jump back to this battle back here for P5. Wow, they're all so close together. And I think either that or it was lag, one of the two. As Lucas holding on to P5 for now. This is going to be pretty intense going into this right-hander as the two leaders start the final lap. So I'm going to jump back up to them.
Oh, and
Dreamsy looks
Breezy
to have held enough of an advantage
easily
here.
by.
And it looks like Bossman trying to follow Breezy through here, trying to go around the outside at the next corner, but not quite able to. Going to jump back up to this battle for the lead. This is going to be so close. It's going to be crucial. Really, the last overtaking opportunity Snipper has is on that back straight. He gets a really bad exit, though, compared to Dreamsy out of that last right-hander. So now Dreamsy doesn't look like that tire wear is really affecting him too much. Snipper able to hold on to it here and just slowly maybe gain just a little. It's staying pretty close. Now coming on to the back straight. See what happens here. Both of them with their ERS on 4. Snipper right on the back of Dreamsy. Dreamsy going full defensive. Snipper might just send one down the inside here. He does not. So Dreamsy will hold on to it for now, but Snipper, I know he's not going to give up. Let's see if he can make any sort of a move here in this final sector. They are nose to tail, and Dreamsy loses the back end there, but covers off Snipper just good enough here coming into the penultimate corner as they come around now to the final corner of the race, and Dreamsy will take the win here over Snipper Pig. 0.3 of a second between them. Big Rig with a spin on this final lap will drop down into P10 on track. Looks like Breezy has around 1.5 seconds to pull on Lucas if he wants to keep P6. Korab, though, up into P5. Shawsome will come around and cross the line in P3. So good drive from him. Sinister, great drive from him from last on the grid to P4.
Korab,
awesome
for his
job.
first time in the UDL, on to a 5th place finish.
Great drive from the Racing Point driver here with wing damage as well. Driving there from him. Breezy with a 3-second time back behind Lucas. On 26 lap hold hards comes across the line in P8, but will drop down to P9.
He's going to drop
P9.
quite a ways with all those penalties that he accrued.
Holnos comes across the line and only improves to P10, so Big Rig will come home in P11. No points for him. Space Hero in P12, Pecan in P13, Impulse in P14. We've got the hero of the first few laps of the race, Drew Yu, in P15. Kill the Birdman, rounding out the finishers here in P16, and of course the Imperial, 1 lap down in P17.
Great race. Dreamsy and Snipper Pig for basically the entire race, just nose to tail.
Absolutely incredible driving from the two of them. Dreamsy then taking home his second win of the season in, I believe, what would be the 3rd closest finish of the season. He won in the closest finish of the season and now comes home in comes home for the victory in the 3rd closest win of the season. Incredible from both of them, and of course the Alfa Romeo driver of Shawsome, who was able to get past Sinister in the closing stages of that race. So Dreamsy once again going from P4 on the grid up into P1. Snipper coming home in P2 from the pole position on the grid. Shawsome, nice little drive from him from P6 up onto the podium. Sinister Owl in P4, most certainly the driver of the day in my opinion, going from last on the grid to P4. Korab in his first appearance in P5. Lucas comes home in P6 on that alternate strategy from P11. Also a wonderful drive from him. Breezy, Dulsac, and Bossman, very disappointing drives from them coming home P7, 8, and 9. Honos rounding out the points in P10. Big Rig, Girl Space Hero, Pecan, Impulse, Drew Yu, Kill the Birdman, and the Imperial were the final finishers of this race.
Great race to watch. I was very impressed with how clean everybody managed to keep it. Just very, very close, but kept everything clean, and we didn't really have that many incidents after the first like 5 or 6 laps. So it was really great to see.
Yeah, that was really fun to watch, and it's really nice to have for Russia to really redeem itself after last season's GP. We had an absolute banger this time around.
Yeah, and I would like to make a thanks to our guest commentator, Cone Dodger. You were great.
It was a pleasure to be here. We had an excellent race to watch. We had multiple battles going on throughout the pretty much entirety of the race. Great drive from Dreamsy, and then, of course, Sinister coming from P17 all the way up to P4. Quite a charge from him. And like Damage had said, a pretty clean race as well.
Yeah, it was a great race to watch.
Well, everybody, I appreciate you all tuning in for the Season 2 round number 13 Russian GP at the Sochi Autodrome for the United Drivers League. My name has been Mr. Damage, and I've been joined by Jonathan M. Ledoux and special guest Cone Dodger. And on behalf of the entirety of the UDL, thank you all for watching, and goodbye.
Good night, everyone.